Weakers, tweakers, thrill seekers, welcome to another freaking episode of our Week in Review. My name is freaking Taylor, the freaking Sandman Lofton, and with me as always is freaking Doug Jordan. Used to be Mike Doug Jordan, now he's just freaking Doug Jordan, to my freaking left, coming all the way from freaking nobody else is actually in the freaking studio right now, but we are here via freaking WAYO, LP freaking Rochester, also freaking iTunes, SoundCloud, freaking Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, and freaking YouTube, and geez Louise, down my knees, we are so freaking happy to have you freaking back. Weakers, tweakers, thrill seekers, we have missed you so freaking much. We are dying to freaking talk to you. And here we are on this great week of freaking July freaking 10th, broadcasting date on WAYO LP Rochester. Doug Jordan, how you freaking been? How you doing? How is your freaking 4th of July celebration? And how freaking horny are you?
So I'm not really horny. My week was pretty good. 4th of July was great. You know, I went down to the cabin in the woods with the kids and my wife's family, and we just spent a lot of time there. So, you know, spent time in the water. We spent time out of the water. We ate hot dogs, hamburgers, pretty much everything that you would have for the 4th of July.
Now, Doug Jordan, I have always had a freaking difficult time imagining you with your extended freaking family. Does your wife have any freaking siblings? And geez Louise, are they as freaking good looking and freaking sexy and beautiful and busty as your freaking wife is?
Yeah, my wife has a sister.
And is she freaking married or?
I mean, she's my sister-in-law, so I can't really say that about her.
She's not freaking. You don't get freaking horny about her.
Well, no, because she's my sister. She's my sister-in-law, so no.
If she was your freaking wife's identical twin sister, you could absolutely say that about her, and nobody would get offended, right?
No, I'm pretty sure that if she was my wife's identical twin, or regardless of whatever, she's her sister, so I can't say that kind of stuff.
But, I mean, if she's an identical freaking twin, then you would basically just be saying that your own freaking wife makes you freaking horny, which is a good freaking thing. Freaking United States of America and the whole entire freaking world is predicated on that freaking assumption that men find the freaking wives freaking horny. I mean, men find their freaking wives they get freaking horny. Their wives get freaking horny, and they get everybody's freaking horny. And geez Louise, down on my knees, the whole freaking world goes around. So you had a good time. What'd you guys eat for 4th of July celebration weekend? And geez Louise, were there any other kids involved other than just Doug Jr.? Formerly freaking Mike Doug Jr.?
Yeah, my wife's sister brought her son and her daughter with them. So,
and the kids all freaking get along, and
yeah, they had a good time.
What'd you guys have for freaking barbecue dinner?
We mostly just ate hot dogs every night.
For multiple freaking nights, you had freaking hot dogs. I was reading a freaking study recently, and geez Louise, I wasn't reading a freaking study at all. Weakers, tweakers, thrill seekers, you freaking caught me. It was a freaking YouTube video, but it was so freaking informative, and it was basically a guy, reminded me a lot of freaking Dr. Drew and freaking Dr. Phil mixed together, except it was a freaking woman, and geez Louise, she was not an attractive freaking woman, but she was saying that people shouldn't eat more than freaking one hot dog a year, and I said, geez Louise, down on my knees, I have had one hot dog a freaking day, probably for the last 40 freaking years. So where does that put me? And where does that put your freaking the children that were with you this weekend, the weekend of 4th of July?
Yeah, they're hot dogs, and it's the 4th of July, and everybody eats freaking hot dogs on the 4th of July. So I don't know if it's necessarily bad for you. People have been eating hot dogs for probably hundreds of years.
Yeah, since the freaking dawn of time, they've been eating freaking hot dogs. Yeah, I think they used to call them freaking water dogs because they used to boil them in freaking water, and they were actually once upon a time. This is a true freaking story. They were made out of freaking dog meat, and then it just got too freaking expensive.
I don't think that's true.
Well, if Tadia freaking Risher were here, geez Louise, down on my knees, he could freaking fact check it. And Weakers, tweakers, I do need to get into that. We are missing 2 members. It is Tadia freaking Risher is out. possibly freaking Keith, the homeless freaking psychotic freaking bum, who he urinated on and then actually freaking pooped on, may have come back to finish the freaking job he started when he stabbed Tadia. Last we heard, Tadia is using a freaking cane as a walking device to help him since his dramatic attack and his miraculous freaking recovery. And I have not heard freaking hide nor hair of him. Jeez Louise, down on my knees. The same goes for freaking Sandy the Sandman freaking Farkas. 2 weeks now, we have not spoken to or spoken with or heard from or heard about Sandy the Sandman Farkas. And the last that we did hear about it, Sandy had broken up with his tiny freaking ugly little girlfriend.
I mean, we don't know if she's... I mean, he just would call her ugly. We don't know if she's actually ugly. I mean, maybe she's good looking, and Sandy is just a jerk.
Well, I mean... Yeah, I mean, every time I freaking imagine her when I'm all by my freaking self doing the thing I do freaking best, all alone, tucked under the freaking covers, trousers down around the ankles. Jeez Louise, I imagine her being she's a very good looking freaking woman, and she's not even a freaking if you ask me at that moment, a normal freaking woman.
But yeah, I mean, I think Sandy probably just got drunk and fell asleep and forgot to set his alarm.
Doug Jordan, you have known Sandy. I would like to say almost as long as me, but that's not freaking true. But you have known him for quite some time now. Does Sandy the Sandman freaking Farkas, in your estimation, have a freaking drinking problem?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's pretty obvious when every time he's on the radio and he says, "I'm sorry, I'm freaking drunk," you know, you can kind of tell that Sandy has somewhat of a drinking problem.
See, it was a freaking trick freaking question, Doug. He is freaking hilarious. He is funny, and geez Louise, when you get a few freaking drinks in him, and by a few, I mean a whole freaking bottle of freaking dark brown, geez Louise, down on my freaking knees, that guy will freaking have me in freaking stitches. So what is the freaking problem with that? Go ahead.
I mean, he wakes up in the morning and he gets drunk. I think he wakes up in the morning and he drinks more, so he throws up from the night before, and then he keeps drinking. I think that's what the definition of a drinking problem.
So you would say that if he ran out of freaking something to drink, then he'd have a freaking drinking problem.
Well, I think he runs out of stuff to drink all the time, and that's why he ends up begging me for money.
Weakers, tweakers, thrill seekers, I can't tell you to go see a freaking Leaving Las Vegas, starring the freaking treasure hunter himself. What's that guy's freaking name from a national freaking treasure?
Nicolas Cage.
Starring freaking Nicolas Cage. But geez Louise, down on my knees, if you were to see it, it is a freaking hilarious movie. It's basically the life of freaking Sandy the Sandman freaking Farkas. Geez Louise, down on my knees, this movie is so freaking hilarious. This guy is getting freaking drunk the entire time. He's gambling. He basically liquidates all of his funds, burns pictures of his family, leaves town, and just drinks and drinks and drinks. All for, it's got to be a month. Got to be a straight month of just drinking as much as he possibly can in freaking Vegas, gambling, hanging out with prostitutes, and geez Louise, down on my knees. If this isn't a freaking comedy worth seeing, I don't know what is. You ever seen freaking Leaving Las Vegas?
No, I've never seen that, but I have seen National Treasure, and I freaking love that movie.
Yeah, that's a good one. What is the National Treasure? Spoiler alert for weakers and tweakers out there who haven't seen it.
Well, I mean, basically, what happens is in the movie, there's a treasure map on the back of the Declaration of Independence, and then they have to find the treasure based on all the freaking clues. So it's just a big scavenger hunt movie.
And what was the tagline that everybody was freaking making fun of when the movie freaking came out? They just keep saying it over and over and over again. We have to steal the freaking Declaration of Independence. I just freaking remembered it. Weakers and tweakers, they steal the freaking Declaration of Independence. And at the end, yet you freaking guessed it, geez Louise, down on my knees, everybody freaking dies, including freaking George Washington. And this actually won't become a spoiler to anyone. He's already freaking dead. So.
Well, I mean, the presidents aren't in the movie. They talk about the presidents, but they're not in the movie. And everybody doesn't die at the end because then they had a second one called National Treasure 2, Book of Secrets.
And the third one, never been made?
No, not yet. I bet you in a couple years we're going to see a National Treasure 3.
Is Nicolas Cage too freaking old to be chasing around the freaking Kingdom of the Island Skull and freaking and using his freaking whip and being afraid of freaking snakes and doing all sorts of freaking hilarious hijinks like riding horses against a freaking tank? Can he still pull that off? And if he can't, who can? Who would be freaking next?
Well, I mean, though none of that stuff happened in National Treasure. I'm pretty sure, in National Treasure, they're in the Antarctic in the beginning of it, and then they just travel around the United States. So I think you're getting it confused with Indiana Jones.
What are you freaking talking about?
The Indiana Jones, Harrison Ford. He's afraid of freaking snakes, and he's
Indiana Jones is a freaking hilarious movie. It's and it is a sequel to the movie James freaking Bond, starring I want to say freaking Patrick Swayze. Either way, Weakers, Tweakers, geez Louise, down on my knees. We have a great freaking show for you, and I don't want to waste up all the freaking time we have going through the dribble and drab of Doug Jordan's existence, but I do want to mention a couple of things. Last week, I did tell Weakers and Tweakers out there I had some bad news to share, and geez Louise, things are still freaking up in the air for me. I was apprehended, I was arrested, I was given a warrant, and I was basically thrown to a jury of my peers, although the trial date is freaking pending at this point. Yes, I have been charged basically unfoundedly with freaking letting a bunch of freaking ugly little freaking pets out of a freaking veterinarian's office after they stole my freaking cat Donovan 2, which I shaved all of his fur off so that the only fur left on him would be on the middle of his freaking lip, and I dyed it black, and yes, you guessed it, he had a freaking Hitler freaking mustache, and it was freaking hilarious. And at this point, the trial is freaking pending. Basically, they want to review all of the freaking evidence. They want to do a bunch of things. Basically, they just want to draw this thing out because they know I'm freaking innocent. And they know I didn't freaking do it. They want to review the freaking evidence against me. And they said they want a freaking psychiatric evaluation. And that's when I said, geez Louise, down on my freaking knees. This is why this whole thing is just a big freaking sham. You know what I'm talking about? It's just a big freaking sham to basically waste my freaking time and waste the freaking jury's time and to get a bunch of people freaking paid using the government freaking money. So Weakers and Tweakers out there who pay their freaking taxes, yeah, this is what it's going for. It's for freaking be freaking ass like this.
Well, I mean, you committed a crime, so it's obvious that they got to look into it and they gotta make sure that your head's right, because a normal person wouldn't break into an animal shelter and release all the animals.
Do I look like I freaking need a freaking psychiatric freaking evaluation? I don't freaking think so. Geez Louise, down on my knees. I've never been to a freaking shrink. Actually, I was going to for a little while, but it was voluntary. They say that I got to have a basically top-down CAT scan, the whole freaking 9 freaking yards to see if there's something freaking wrong with me. And actually, my freaking Darius freaking Jackson, my freaking court-appointed attorney, is actually the one who freaking called for it.
Yeah, because he's trying to get you off probably being crazy.
Yeah, this is trying to get me a freaking insanity police.
Yeah, he's trying to call the insanity. He's trying to get you the insanity plea. He's not trying to call the insanity police. I don't think that's a real thing.
Well, either way, geez Louise, all's well that's going to freaking end well when they find out that I didn't freaking do it because I got a freaking alibi. It's called being freaking horny and being freaking in bed, being freaking horny and taking care of business. The way I always do and the way I always freaking done. Now, Weakers, Tweakers, I do want to say this. I had some false information given to me last week by freaking Doug Jordan, and geez Louise, down on my knees. It turns out what you say on the radio can be used against you in a freaking court of law. And I was under the impression, as per freaking Doug Jordan, and he had Tady and I both bamboozled into believing that we could admit to just about anything on the freaking air. And as long as we said it freaking live on the air, broadcast to basically the world, millions and millions and millions and freaking billions out there in Radio Land and in WAYO LBGTQ freaking Rochester, New York land. Geez Louise, down on my knees. I couldn't be freaking charged. Turns out that's not the freaking case.
Yeah, no, I definitely told you and Tadia both last week that no, anything that you say or do can be held against you in the freaking court of law.
I know, that's what I'm freaking telling you now. And that's the freaking truth of it. You're absolutely freaking right. And I wish you had said that last week because turns out we finally did get somebody to freaking review those freaking tapes that we've been asking about. And yeah, you guessed it. It turned out it's the freaking criminal freaking court. And the freaking prosecution's looking into all the freaking tapes. They're going back through every freaking tape of this freaking episode. And not just the freaking podcast episodes. They've subpoenaed freaking WAYO, geez Louise, on my knees, LP Rochester, the worst radio station in the history of the world, by the way. They've subpoenaed them. They've handed over all of the freaking tapes of 2 years of freaking broadcast. Over 2 years of freaking broadcast that we've been on the freaking air. I feel sorry for the first freaking person who's got to listen to that.
Yeah, well, I mean,
It's great radio, though.
I just want to say I did tell both you and Tadia last week that anything that you've said can be used against you in terms of that stuff.
The thing that I'm freaking worried about is actually what they're going to end up finding out about you, because you might end up getting in freaking indicted for freaking falsifying the freaking shrimp fest, not ordering enough shrimp, and also not going all the way to freaking Italy on your freaking trip to freaking Italy, which ended up being a sex fantasy vacation with your freaking co-host of your freaking show, Sunjay.
Okay, first of all, let me just unpack this a little bit. I had nothing to do with the ordering of the shrimp. I was just the host of the Shrimp Fest. Second of all, I did go to freaking Italy with Sunjay, to learn more about food and culture and, all sorts of freaking great stuff. And I did do both those things. And third, if they go back and check the freaking tapes, they're going to hear me say over and over again, I did go do that stuff. I didn't order the shrimp. It had nothing to do with me. I don't have freaking herpes. They're going to hear me say, I don't freaking stash pee in jars. They're going to hear me say all this freaking stuff. So, it's going to turn out that they're going to see that you keep saying it, and they're going to say, oh, Taylor's freaking crazy. Taylor's the crazy one that just can't let freaking go of things because he just makes things up in his own freaking world, and then that's who he is.
See, okay, so I got one freaking question for you, and it's freaking this. Who are you freaking working for? Because I'm getting the feeling that you and the prosecution and everybody that has a freaking bone to pick with freaking me is actually working for freaking Evan Dawson, host of the freaking radio show, local freaking radio show, Connections on freaking WXXI, and geez Louise, down on my knees. It all freaking makes sense now. And you know what? I'm going to start a little investigation of my freaking own. It's called Collusion with freaking Evan freaking Dawson and the freaking, and geez Louise, the freaking prosecution that's coming after me. Because I've been freaking unfairly freaking targeted. I didn't do anything.
I mean, I've never met freaking Evan Dawson. A. B.
Me either.
Maybe this insanity plea makes sense because you think that Evan Dawson's freaking coming after you and freaking stealing all the material from the show, but I don't think that's true.
Here's the thing. He wants me to wear the freaking officer's uniform back, the tattered freaking officer's uniform back. He says, you wear that on the stand, we're going to get you off. I said, what the heck are you freaking talking about?
I thought they took it from you.
They did, and he wants to get it back. He says, this is our freaking golden ticket. I said, first of all, golden ticket is a freaking trip to freaking Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. It has nothing to do with freaking my officer's uniform, my pride and joy, my service to this freaking country.
Yeah, but you didn't serve for this country.
Right. Well.
So, I mean, I guess it makes sense that he wants you to get that back because you're just going to make you look freaking crazier.
Yeah. Yeah, he's trying to get it back for me. That's the thing. This guy, he might be misguided at freaking times, but he's got his head in the right place, and he's going to get that freaking officer's uniform back for me in no freaking time. And I will wear it on the freaking stand.
Yeah, I mean, for him, I think that's probably a good idea.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great idea. I need my freaking officer's uniform back. I have not felt complete without it. And geez Louise, down on my freaking knees, I don't feel complete at all right now. But all's well that's going to freaking end well, as I said before. And we move upwards. We move onwards. We sally forth with our, basically, in a ship forward into the freaking sun as we are looking at the days gone by from behind, like on a freaking mainsail. That is basically the motto of this freaking show. So Weakers, actually, Doug Jordan, can you just repeat that really quick for Weakers and Tweakers out there who'd missed it just a moment ago? The show's motto.
So we started with this. So it was we sail away.
We freaking sally forth.
We sally forth
into the freaking sun.
Into the sun.
Our backs to the freaking sun. Checking the freaking horizon for days gone by. Yeah, that's right. Weakers, Tweakers, Thrill Seekers, you freaking guessed it. We are our week in freaking review, and we're here to stay. And if I have to do this while being tortured to my ends, I will, to the ends of the freaking earth, I will sail for you, Weakers and Tweakers, to bring you this great show. I will do this show if it freaking kills me.
I mean, they're probably just going to give you, like, community service or something.
I think there's a lot more at stake than that, but geez Louise. Weakers, tweakers, thrill seekers, we got a great freaking show. Our week's news and discussion is next. So we want to remind you that if you would like to call and join in the freaking discussion, you can always call 513-914-6201. That is the Our Week freaking hotline, and you can share your thoughts, comments on anything we freaking talk about, or bring up issues that we don't cover. So please go ahead and call 513-914-6201 if you freaking want to. Last week, it was reported that Taco Bell across North America were in a bind as a shortage of one of their key ingredients caused much consternation for the popular Mexican eatery. According to Fox News, the shortage stemmed from an issue with the company's supplier, but that hasn't stopped a cavalcade of rumors about national shortage of tortillas that could affect businesses and consumers alike. The speculation varies from claim to claim, but the consensus is that the supply chain of 10-inch tortilla shells is at an all-time freaking low. Some of the affected items on Taco Bell's menu include burritos and freaking quesadillas. So, Doug Jordan, why don't you take it to the freaking sports desk? What we want to do here is we want to ask your professional freaking opinion as an eater and a reviewer of freaking food and someone who may or may not have gone to Italy at all. What would some of Taco Bell's products look like without a freaking tortilla? So what would a burrito look like, and what could we expect to see if this tortilla freaking shell shortage continues?
Yeah, so I'm actually glad that you brought this up because I actually experienced this last week. I went to Taco Bell on Monday out in Webster, and as soon as I pulled up to the drive-thru, the cashier or the person that was taking the order started saying, we have a shortage of tortillas, and we don't have quesadillas, and we don't have burritos right now, but we can make you whatever you want that isn't a quesadilla or a burrito. And I just thought that maybe she didn't want to make the food at that Taco Bell.
So you actually freaking experienced this? Are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah, it actually happened to me. So what I said was, oh, okay, then I'll just have a couple tacos, and they have a mini quesadilla on the dollar menu, and that they make with just the regular taco tortillas. So she said that was fine.
So that's what you freaking got. So, if you were to get a freaking burrito, like let's say you got a freaking bean and beef burrito with freaking cheese and that freaking red sauce and the freaking onions, I think that's about all they freaking put in it. Just beans, beef, cheese, red sauce, freaking onions. What would that freaking... I'll tell you what it freaking looked like. It looked like freaking diarrhea if you freaking had it without the freaking shell over it. You just put it in, wrap that up in that freaking little freaking wax paper bag that they put everything in, the wax sheet of freaking paper, and just wrap it up. And how freaking different would it actually be? Really?
I mean, I think it would just be smaller.
Maybe
this is a good idea for them.
You know it's a freaking good idea, and this is what it makes me think of. Have you heard of the freaking yogurt brand? It was very popular in the early freaking 2000s. It was called Go-Gurt, and it came in a tube-like casing. A tube.
Yeah, they still make Go-Gurt. You can still get it. Comes in a tube. Yeah. It's yogurt in a tube.
Please. I'm freaking trying to do the freaking radio show right now.
It's Sports Desk, and I know about freaking food.
Okay. Well, so they still make a freaking product. It's called freaking Go-Gurt. It comes in a freaking plastic sleeve tube, elongated, basically the length of a freaking very large penis, but not the width of the penis, just the length. And geez Louise, down on my freaking knees, it's very much like one of those frozen freaking pops that you get at a freaking corner store for 50 cents. They're huge. They're frozen. They cut the inside of your freaking mouth like the freaking Dickens.
Yeah, freeze pops. Everybody knows what freeze pops are.
Yeah, you end up feeling like you got freaking herpy mouth after you freaking eat them. And geez Louise, freeze pops is what they're freaking called, by the way. Why would they not make a freaking grab and go burrito style freaking Go-Gurt, a go freaking burrito, a go bro? And geez Louise, down on my knees, it will just be a tube filled with the innards of a freaking beef and bean burrito. And it's heated up in the freaking micro right before you freaking buy it, so it takes no freaking time at all. And then you just freaking cut the top off with the freaking scissors. They cut it off, they hand it to you, and then you just squeeze the innards of the... It's basically like squeezing a freaking cadaver's freaking digestive tract out into your freaking mouth.
Isn't that kind of what astronauts eat? I'm pretty sure I saw a video on YouTube of an astronaut making a burrito in space.
Eating freaking Taco Bell.
And it kind of looked like a Taco Bell.
Where'd they go? Where'd they find the freaking Taco Bell up there? At the freaking moon? They got one up there?
I think that they got it shipped up there. I don't know. Maybe Amazon ships up there or something, or NASA sent it to them. I don't freaking know.
That's freaking hilarious. So my other freaking question is, if this shortage freaking continues, as it most likely will, what could Taco Bell replace the tortilla with?
I mean, well, the thing is that they still have the small tortillas. They just don't have the big ones.
Yeah, so if you could, I mean, would maybe a flatbread work? Maybe they put it on a freaking submarine sandwich roll, or maybe a freaking hoagie roll would be a good freaking choice. Or what about freaking crepes? What has happened in the food community with freaking crepes? I haven't seen a freaking crepe in freaking decades.
I gotta tell you, I don't think I've ever had a crepe.
Well, it's pretty freaking good, actually. It tastes basically like a thin pancake with more egg in it.
So it's kind of like a tortilla.
You get a freaking, if you go to a freaking crepe place, get the freaking egg salad, extra mayo freaking crepe with freaking mayonnaise all over it, and geez Louise, you can just squeeze the innards right out, just like it's a freaking cadaver's freaking digestive tract into your freaking mouth, and then you can eat the freaking, the casing, which would be like the intestines, which is actually just a freaking crepe, so it's freaking delicious. You get it with freaking maple syrup, too.
Why did your head just immediately go to a cadaver's intestines when we were talking about freaking crepes?
Someone told me a freaking story about a freaking cadaver's freaking intestines and squeezing the freaking fecal, the impacted feces out of it. But it's either neither here nor freaking there. I think also, what about freaking toast? Could you make a burrito on a freaking toast called a freaking tostada?
Wasn't that what people in England do? They do like beans on toast. It's like a burrito on toast.
Yeah. And that's actually why the rumor that the stereotype that English people have freaking terribly bad teeth, it's actually just the freaking baked beans stuck in their freaking teeth. It's not their teeth aren't freaking any worse than ours. They're normal people.
You think they constantly have beans stuck in their teeth?
Yeah, they got bean casing in their freaking teeth. It's freaking hilarious.
I mean, if they just brushed their teeth, then they wouldn't have the beans in their teeth.
Yeah, but immediately afterwards, they're freaking putting beans on toast and eating it again.
You know, when I saw Austin Powers and he makes the joke that somebody has, Austin Powers, please use the toothpaste, and it's supposed to be a spy gadget, and then he just says, oh, I get it, I have bad teeth. I didn't understand that was about English people. I thought it was just about the character. Austin.
No, he's a freaking British guy who's got freaking terrible teeth, much like you freaking guessed it, James freaking Bond. James Bond has always had freaking bad teeth, and that's why he's always eating the freaking olive out of the freaking martini, is to say, oh, it's just freaking olive in my freaking teeth. But neither freaking here nor there, it actually is freaking baked beans. So perhaps we settled on toast, maybe a hoagie roll, maybe a freaking crepe, and geez Louise, down on my knees. This doesn't mean the end for freaking Taco Bell, does it?
No, I mean, I still got tacos, so I think they're going to be fine.
And if they do have that freaking Taco Bell on the freaking moon, maybe they got a backlog of some of them freaking 10-inch tortilla shells. They can send them down here, send them our freaking way, courtesy of freaking Our Week in Review.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Last week, Radar Online claimed that growing concern for Matthew Perry's alleged declining mental health and physical health has reached his former friends' co-stars' attention, according to the publication. According to the report, a source close to Jennifer Aniston, Courtney Cox, Lisa Kudrow, Matt LeBlanc, and David Schwimmer confirmed that the stars were aware of Perry's recent odd behavior and disheveled looks and were concerned for him during the recent period of reclusivity. This news comes after Perry admitted on Twitter that he had been kicked out of a therapy group earlier this year. During his friend's tenure, Perry was known to struggle with drug and alcohol abuse as well as sporadic weight freaking gain. So yeah, that's freaking true. Geez Louise, down on my knees. I don't know what freaking season it was, maybe around freaking 8 or 9. Suddenly, this guy started to freaking blow up.
I was going to say after season 3, he seemed a lot more freaking tired all the time and like he had less lines. And then all of a sudden freaking Chandler Bing wasn't the Chandler Bing that everybody freaking knew.
Now, is Chandler Bing your favorite freaking character or is it freaking Joey?
Yeah, it's definitely Joey. Joey is obviously the funniest character on Friends, and everybody should know that.
No, Joey is constantly freaking getting laid, but not anymore. Now that Joey is no longer on the freaking show and has changed his name back to freaking Matt LeBlanc, he is looking old, he's looking just freaking shoveled, and he might be on freaking drugs. And geez Louise, down on my knees, he might be freaking doing drugs with freaking Matthew freaking Perry. And you heard it freaking first, folks. What the freaking heck is freaking Perry freaking doing? And is he working on anything? He got a freaking show in the work?
I don't know. I honestly didn't even think about Matthew Perry until you started reading this news story.
Yeah. Yeah, it's freaking hilarious.
It makes sense that he's back on drugs or alcohol or whatever. His career is kind of ruined. I mean, once you play Chandler, you can't play anybody else.
For weakers and tweakers out there who don't know much about freaking social media, this freaking guy is all over social media looking freaking unshaven. He basically has a wattled chin. He is freaking miserable looking, gray beard. Just
what's a wattle chin?
It's like a freaking turkey neck. You ever seen a freaking guy with a turkey neck?
I've never heard it referred to as a wattle chin.
I don't want to freaking have any freaking bones about it. This guy looks like absolutely freaking shit. And geez Louise, down to my freaking knees. If anybody out there knows, or if freaking Matthew Perry himself is listening, please freaking call 513-914-6201, where you can get the freaking help you need at the R Week freaking hotline, and we will play your message freaking live on the air, whether you say we can or freaking not. Last week, during a concert in London, Stevie Wonder announced that he will be taking a break from touring to undergo kidney transplant surgery, according to CBS News. Wonders made the proclamation after performing Superstitious to a packed audiences at a British summertime concert in London's sprawling Hyde Park. According to the pianist, the statement was made in an effort to squash any rumors about the 69-year-old's declining health. Wonder is expected to make a full freaking recovery. So, freaking Stevie freaking Wonder, first of all, how does he freaking know what he's freaking getting? How does he even know where his freaking kidneys is?
Well, I mean, yeah, I get the point that you're making there is that he's blind.
Well, yeah, maybe he's got two freaking good kidneys, and he just signed a freaking paper saying that they're going to take one of them, and that he doesn't need a freaking kidney transplant at all. They're just going to take the freaking famed singer's freaking kidney, put it on freaking ice, and sell it on the freaking black market. Is that a freaking possibility, and how likely is it, Doug Jordan?
I mean, probably. I mean, he's probably got people that look after him. You know, he tours all the time, so he's probably got people in his band. So I don't think it's very likely that somebody's tricking him into taking his kidney.
You know, the funny thing about these blind pianists is that, geez Louise, down on my freaking knees, you never see him walking around with a folding freaking blue and white cane with a little roller ball on the end.
Yeah, actually, down at the wharf, it's funny you bring this up. Down at the wharf the other day, I think one of the guys was telling me that they've been watching a lot of videos about whether or not Stevie Wonder is actually freaking blind. Apparently, there's a video out there where somebody says, "Hey, Stevie, think fast," and then they throw something at him, and he turns around and he freaking catches it.
Wait, I have freaking heard about this.
Yeah.
And it's in freaking connection with something else, some other freaking conspiracy. We're gonna have to get back to you on this, folks, weakers, tweakers, thrill seekers, because there is some larger freaking conspiracy going on with that, and I can't freaking put my finger on it.
Yeah, I can't remember why he brought it up, but he said he's been watching a lot of Stevie Wonder videos, and I said, "Oh, really?" And then he said the thing about him catching something, and he turned around and he freaking caught it.
Well, maybe his ears are just really good, like a freaking like a freaking wolf. Something that I want to bring attention to is during a 2012 interview with the freaking Guardian, Stevie Wonder. He said that freaking gay singers, I think he was talking about freaking Frank Ocean, the freaking pop singer. Never freaking heard of him, but he sounds freaking amazing. He's one of my favorites. He stated that gay people, like singer Frank Ocean, must be confused about their freaking sexuality. And, geez Louise, I just wanted to say, Stevie Wonder, if you're freaking listening, do yourself a freaking favor. And the next time you see a freaking outwardly freaking gay person, take a freaking deep look into their freaking eyes and really look at the human that's inside of that person, and you'll realize it's not a freaking choice at all. They're not freaking confused about anything. That there's a freaking human being inside there, and that's who they are, and that's who they want to be seen as. So maybe you just need to get your freaking, maybe you just need to get the freaking peanut butter out your eyes and freaking look down deep into the soul of another freaking human being. And actually, since after saying that, he did freaking apologize. So last week, Instagram model Belle Delphine, aka Gamer Girl, announced that she will be selling her used bathwater, according to GamerRant.com. Delphine, who rose to social media fame from her lewd content, sharing on Snapchat and bizarre YouTube videos involving a dead octopus, says the bathwater will be sold on her store page for $30 a jar. Delphine insists the bathwater is genuine and is not for drinking and should only be used for sentimental purposes. So, this freaking girl, geez Louise, down on my knees. I seen a freaking picture of this. She looks like she's about 12 freaking years old, which, geez Louise, down on my knees. I hope that's not the freaking attraction.
Yeah, it's probably just because, the game. I'm pretty sure game people are friggin' nerds, and anybody that plays video games with them is friggin' attractive to them.
Is that the freaking thing? And she's also, I couldn't find out more about the freaking dead octopus, but there was a picture of her. She's got a freaking dead octopus with freaking googly eyes on it, sitting in her freaking lap. Where I found the source for this article. I think it was called gamerrant.com. So she's selling freaking bathwater. Doug Jordan, if you ever freaking find all of that urine that you stashed, and maybe with your recent fame from your own show, freaking Doug Knows Best, you could get your own freaking store page and start selling that. And even if you did $30 a freaking gallon, you have so much, I imagine you'd be a freaking billionaire by the time you were freaking done selling all of it.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, if I did store my pee, yeah, that's a good idea, but I don't think anybody would want to freaking buy it.
I don't know. You're getting pretty freaking popular after your freaking your shrimp press freaking meltdown and your hilarious freaking trip to freaking fake Italy. So, did you look up a picture of her?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
She got pink hair, and she wears a lot of cat ears.
People are so freaking weird these days. People are so freaking weird with the way they freaking choose to dress and the things they freaking do in public and post on freaking line. I just don't understand at all what people are doing these days with themselves, and I just have no freaking idea what's going on.
Is she a cop? She looks like she got a cop hat on. Do you think she's a cop?
She might be a freaking cop. Undercover freaking cop. Yeah, Weakers, Tweakers, you heard it first. And geez Louise, down on my knees. I hope we didn't just freaking out her. Now she gets freaking murdered. Last week, Twitch streamer and internet personality Amani Pokimane, Jesus. Is it anus? It's A-N-Y-S. Does that spell freaking anus?
Yeah, I think that's how you'd say it. Or anus.
Last week, Twitch streamer and internet personality Amani Pokimane Anus released a public statement after she was inundated with messages requesting her used bathwater, according to Dexerto.com. The recent surge in bathwater requests came after Belle Delphine announced that she will be selling her own used bathwater. Anus's response appeared to be in good humor. Please stop asking me for my bathwater, Anus wrote. I take showers. So Anus, she washes her freaking anus in the freaking shower. So geez Louise, down on my knees, Weakers, Tweakers, Thrill Seekers. If any of you are requesting freaking used bath water, maybe take a chill freaking pill because she takes freaking showers. Although, is it possible that you could attach a freaking some sort of catch-all rain bucket to the bottom of her shower, and then you could sell the shower water off in small jars for sentimental freaking purpose?
You know what? Why? Okay, let me just. Why are people obsessed with freaking bath water these days? Who wants freaking? What are you gonna do with freaking used bath water?
You could freaking drink it. Although it does say it's not for freaking drinking, but I can imagine drinking it.
Yeah, why? If she doesn't want to sell freaking bathwater, then don't ask her to sell her freaking bathwater.
Do you think people rub it on themselves before pleasuring themselves? Is that maybe part of the appeal?
I mean, that didn't come to my freaking mind right away. But I mean, is that something that you might be?
No.
Okay, well then there we go.
Also, this bathwater, if it's freaking bathwater, it's got freaking soap on it, so I wouldn't get it anywhere near myself. Last week, reports about U.S. intentions to dump 1.5 tons of rat poison on a set of islands off the coast of San Francisco caused stirring concerns amongst U.S. citizens, according to the L.A. Times. Farallon Islands, also known as the Devil's Teeth, is one of the world's largest breeding colonies for the rare ashy storm petrel, but the influx of invasive mice has attracted suspected burrowing owls that prey upon the petrel. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services says that dumping rat poison pellets may be the best way to control the rodent population that is currently wreaking havoc on the Farallon Islands ecosystem. So, I think using freaking rat poison is a great freaking idea. I think if there's a problem that you freaking got in life and you don't have a freaking solution, my advice, think, how does freaking rat poison help in this situation? What can I do using freaking rat poison to solve my problems? That's usually where my mind goes first. So, kudos to the freaking fish, the game and fishing, game and wildlife, whatever the freaking called. Congratulations, you freaking guessed it. Yep.
I mean, that's a lot of freaking rat. That's 1.5 tons of rat poison. That could kill a lot of things, not just the freaking rats.
You think you could finally freaking get Dawson off my freaking back?
That your mind went to that you want to use rat poison to freaking go after.
Don't
Evan
say
Dawson.
it on the freaking air. Don't even freaking say it on the air. I learned my lesson last week.
Well, I mean, you kind of said it, so even if they
I didn't say it. I thought maybe that if the freaking fishing, game, and wildlife perhaps put it on an island, and then he happened to go visit that island for a vacation, maybe it would be off my freaking back. That's all I'm freaking saying.
Does he visit this island a lot?
Maybe he wins a trip. Maybe he wins best host in Rochester, and somebody sets it up, and nobody knows who set it up, and then the freaking trip is a vacation to the freaking and the vacation is to freaking Devil's Teeth Island, and geez Louise, down on my knees, he goes to take a nice bite out of a freaking rare petrel, and geez Louise, down on my knees, the freaking petrel is covered in freaking rat poison, and it's been eating the mice. That's full of it too, and now problem freaking solved. It's just a freaking hypothetical thing. Weakers, tweakers, thrill seekers. I did not say anything incriminating on this freaking show. So,
I mean, even because you said maybe, I think they could still use that against you.
No, unless it freaking happens to him. God hope it doesn't. Love the freaking guy. Freaking hilarious. His show is freaking hilarious, although he stole all of it from freaking us. Last week, one man's agonizing death made headlines after it was reported that his cause of death may be linked to eating a gecko, according to the New York Post. David Dowell, who died in December, was said to be seen eating a gecko at a holiday party after an alleged dare. According to medical records, Dowell contracted salmonella, leading some medical professionals to speculate on his recent food choice as a source of foodborne illness. According to the publication, Dowell's symptoms were much worse than usual salmonella outbreaks. The 34-year-old began vomiting green bile, his urine turned black, and his stomach became so bloated that he looked as though he was 6 months pregnant. In addition to the previously listed symptoms, Dowell's lungs filled with fluid, and more fluid linked from his stomach and swollen testicles. Less than 2 weeks after he reportedly ate the gecko, Dowell died in surgery after being placed under a medically induced coma to manage the freaking pain.
I mean, can I just say that that's why you probably shouldn't eat a freaking gecko?
Yeah, that's a freaking horrible freaking story. And there was even details that I left out because it sounded too freaking bad, and that was that his testicles swelled up to the size of freaking grapefruits. I swear to freaking God, I freaking read that.
Well, that's what happens when you eat a freaking gecko. First of all, it's a harmless freaking animal. You shouldn't freaking eat it anyways. And if you do, then maybe you should freaking cook it first.
Yeah. And how would you freaking cook a gecko? And what would you make out of it? Maybe a taco?
See, I was thinking you would put you kind of skewer it, and then you would roast it over a fire, and then you just eat it off the stick.
Yeah, that does sound pretty freaking good. Maybe with like a freaking buffalo sauce on it. The thing is, the thing should die of natural causes because I don't freaking condone freaking killing animals for human consumption unless it's freaking chicken, beef, pork, or any type of freaking fish or sea life creature. So I tell you, I don't like freaking tuna anymore after they took the freaking dolphin out of it.
You could tell the difference.
Yeah. It was way better before. It was fattier. Dowell, I'm so sorry for your freaking horrible freaking death, and if your family's listening, rest in peace, condolences, and geez Louise, down on my knees. Stay away from the freaking gecko. And you imagine, here's something that I'm thinking about now. You imagine after this freaking happens, these people can never freaking watch a freaking Geico commercial ever again. They're never going to be able to laugh at that freaking hilarious British green gecko that comes on there. And every time they come on there, they're going to be like, this guy freaking killed this little freaking piece of shit killed my freaking father, or killed my freaking husband, or killed my freaking brother, or killed my freaking son. Swole him up and then he died.
Yeah, I mean that's another reason why you probably shouldn't want to eat a gecko in the first place, is because of that freaking gecko.
And they should really, the thing about it is the freaking Geico commercial should really be, they should really be more careful as to who they offend and who they go after. This poor freaking guy, and they're just taunting his family with a freaking little green gecko with the British accent.
I mean, I don't think they've used that gecko in freaking years.
No, they still freaking use it. Gecko's freaking hilarious. Last week, police in Lufkin, Texas, say they caught the infamous Bluebell ice cream liquor, according to the New York Times. The culprit, a 17-year-old girl who has not been identified due to her age, was caught after posting a viral video where she lifted the lid of a gallon of Bluebell ice cream and licked the top layer of the dessert cream. The incident has reportedly caused a string of copycat postings on social media, and it has caused consumers to demand tamper-safe foil to be implemented under the lid of all Bluebell ice cream products. The girl will likely face charges in the juvenile court system. The flavor of ice cream, known as Tin Roof, features vanilla ice cream with chocolate fudge swirl and roasted peanuts dipped in dark chocolate.
Okay, first thing I want to say
is this Sports Desk?
Well, I guess it could be.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't understand somebody that can open a freaking ice cream container and just lick the top layer and then freaking put it back. How are you gonna do that?
I see what you're saying.
Like you would eat the whole. I would eat the whole.
You would freaking
thing.
just keep eating it. Yeah, that's the thing about those freaking those gallon containers is that if you don't have somebody dishing it out and giving it to you and then freaking locking it up away where you can't freaking find it, how are you gonna freaking put it down?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've been known to go, buy ice cream, for myself or my kid and my wife, and we'll have it after dinner as a little dessert. And then, they'll go to bed and I'll put the ice cream away and then I'll watch TV and then I'll go grab the ice cream and I'll, take a couple spoons out of the freaking container and I'll keep eating it and then I'll put it away and then by the end of the night, it's all freaking gone.
Yeah. You can't, if you are trying not to if you're watching your freaking figure, like most of us freaking are, including my freaking self. If you're watching your freaking figure, best thing to do, just not have that goddamn delicious shit in the freaking house, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. And, for somebody to be able to go into a store, open a freaking ice cream container, and lick the top of the layer of the ice cream and then put it back, guess what? I'm still going to freaking eat the ice cream when I buy it because I'm not going to realize that you freaking did that.
What this makes me worry about, though, first of all, I guess I don't really care if somebody licks the top of it. It freezes, all the germs freaking die, and if there is salmonella in it, just don't swell up my freaking testicles, please. Just for freaking God's sakes, please stop, and don't freaking swell my testicles up to grapefruit size. And then have my stomach look like I'm 6 months pregnant, because I already look like I'm 4 or 5 months freaking pregnant. And if I look like I'm 6 months pregnant on top of that, I'm going to be freaking, yep, you freaking guessed it, I'm going to be freaking 11 months freaking pregnant. And that's freaking way freaking overdue. And guess what? Baby's going to be freaking popping out of my freaking pouting freaking asshole. And geez Louise, down on my knees, it's all because somebody freaking with salmonella on their freaking tongue licked the freaking top of the freaking Bluebell container. So geez Louise, down on my knees, kids out there, social media users, people looking to go freaking viral with hilarious freaking pranks, maybe stop and think for a minute, because you don't want to end up like freaking David Dowell, the guy who died in December for eating a freaking gecko at a holiday party after an alleged freaking dare.
Yeah, no, I agree with everything you just freaking said.
No, circle gets a square, Doug Jordan. Last week, rumors surrounding the return of Burger King's crispy tacos began swirling after the value item began appearing on the menus of some select franchise locations, according to thecomicbook.com. Although Burger King has yet to announce the tacos' return, happy customers have been excitedly reporting sightings of the forgotten menu item favorite on social media. The crispy item was taken off the menu in 2010, where it was sold in pairs for $1.49. Now the elusive favorite is back at some select locations, selling in pairs for $1.99. Doug Jordan, take it to the sports desk. Have you had this before, and how excited are you to have it freaking back?
I can say that I've never had Burger King crispy
You gotta be freaking
tacos.
kidding me.
No, I didn't know that was a thing. So I will be looking at my local Burger King to try this menu item. $1.99 for 2 tacos is a great freaking deal. I just can't believe that they would do all this in light of Taco Bell's freaking tortilla shortage.
It's kind of a freaking slap in the face, isn't it?
It definitely seems like it would be a slap in the face to Taco Bell for Burger King to start selling. First of all, it's called freaking Burger King. It's not called freaking Taco Bell. And, they should be focusing on their freaking burgers instead of their freaking tacos.
Who has the best freaking burger? My money is with the freaking Whopper at Burger King, believe it or not.
I would say the Whopper is a good burger. I do enjoy the Big Mac at McDonald's. I think all of them have pretty good burgers. I think it just depends on what you're looking for.
But so the Big Mac doesn't compare to the freaking Whopper. The two that compare side by side at McDonald's and Burger King would be the Whopper and the Quarter Pounder, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
And which one's better?
I think I like the Quarter Pounder better.
Jeez, Louise, the freaking Whopper is way freaking better. You get extra mayo on it. I don't know what they're freaking putting in the mayonnaise at freaking McDonald's, but it's sweet. It must be freaking corn syrup or something like that because it's freaking delicious.
I actually looked this up, and they use Kraft mayonnaise across all of their branches. It's Kraft brand mayonnaise.
Maybe it's just that they put so much freaking on there that you just taste it more than a normal person would taste it. I'm used to eating freaking mayonnaise, although I tend to like freaking Hellmann's. But when you eat as much as I freaking do, you go with the freaking generic version.
Yeah,
I get it from freaking Price Right.
I mean, it's all the same thing.
It's freaking delicious. Now, so a lot of people say Wendy's makes the freaking best burger. First of all, I can never wrap my freaking mouth around it because it's not a freaking circle and there's nothing around about it. It's a freaking square. So which burger of theirs is best and which one compares with the Whopper and the freaking Quarter Pounder?
You're gonna hate me for this, but I don't ever eat the freaking burgers at Wendy's. I think probably because they're squares.
And they're known. Are they known for their chicken? Who's known for their chicken?
Yeah, Wendy's has a great spicy chicken sandwich. However, Burger King within the last few months released a spicy chicken sandwich that I think that might be better than freaking Wendy's.
You got to be freaking kidding me. Weakers, tweakers, thrill seekers. You freaking heard it first here. Doug Jordan says the spicy chicken sandwich at freaking BK might be better than freaking Dave Thomas's Wendy's. And who knows? Maybe you should decide for your freaking self and call in to our week hotline 914-513-6201. Now, I have always been a fan of the freaking McChicken because of its simplicity and its dollar menu status. And it's basically just shredded lettuce, a freaking ton of freaking mayonnaise, and a freaking cheap, crispy freaking chicken. And if you get and honestly, if I get them, I get a whole freaking bag full of them. I say, I don't care, don't count them, just fill the freaking bag up and weigh it and sell them to me by the freaking pound. Mm-hmm. They'll never do it. They never listen to me. They go, we're just gonna have to find out. We're gonna have to count how many fit in a bag and then sell you the full bag.
Yeah, I mean that would make sense. It would screw up their whole system.
A lot of them, you can get a lot of them in there. You get 20 of them in a bag. Freaking delicious.
But I mean, you're gonna ask me if I think the McChicken is the best value menu chicken sandwich?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely agree with that.
All right, that's 2 circles get the square. Tadia got some earlier, so we're going to have to transfer that over and tally it up at the end. But Doug Jordan, that was a great freaking segment. Thank you for your freaking feedback. Last week, Italian tennis star Fabio Fognini apologized after he said he wished a bomb would hit the All England club at Wimbledon, according to Fox News. During a match that resulted in a 3-set loss to Tennis Tenny. This freaking guy's name is freaking Tennis, and he's a tennis freaking player. It's spelled Tennys, just like that girl Anus, whose name is Anus and spelled with a Y. So, but I can't believe that somebody's name is freaking Tennis. Tennis Sangren. So, during the match that resulted in a 3-set loss to Tennis Sangren, Fognini had to be treated for a bloody and wounded knuckles that were the result of punching his freaking tennis racket. The frustrated tennis star included some offensive remarks about the English club where the tournament took place. Damned English, he said, according to Sky News. I wish a bomb would explode on this club. A bomb should explode here. Fognini has since apologized.
Well, I mean, first of all, I think you said it earlier, but I mean, how are you going to play tennis against a guy named freaking Tennis and expect to freaking win?
Yeah, that's a good freaking point. That's a good freaking point. It's like it would be like playing freaking. It'd be like driving a car against one of the freaking characters from Cars. You know, because
exactly.
they don't even need a freaking driver in them, so you know they're going to be a couple 100 pounds lighter, and they're going to speed right freaking by you. Also, they freaking know their freaking bodies because they're freaking cars, and geez Louise, this person knows tennis because that's who they freaking are.
Yeah, it's literally in his freaking blood.
Yeah. And they say you know yourself better than you know anyone else. And if your name is freaking tennis, then who would know tennis better than you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I agree. Another thing I wanted to bring up was he said he punched his freaking tennis racket. Do you think he punched the handle, or do you think that he punched the net part?
Yeah, I think he probably tried to punch the strings.
So do you think that his hand just kept bouncing off the freaking strings?
Yeah, it'd be freaking hilarious. This freaking guy is the new bad boy of freaking tennis since McEnroe got old and just decided to be in freaking any movie that would allow him to cameo as himself. But geez Louise, down on my knees, this guy's freaking hilarious. And the only thing that stands out to me in this story, other than the things we've already commented on, is that he is freaking Italian, and I'm pretty sure the Italians have never been able to manage an offensive strike against anyone in both of the wars. They were basically the sleeping dog of the freaking war that did nothing and just waited to be freaking attacked. And that freaking guy, freaking Benito, freaking Mussolini, freaking most hilarious freaking guy in the freaking history of the freaking world. Big, fat freaking guy, pizza lover, geez Louise, across the freaking country. And he went around with his big freaking mustache, making big boasts, acting like he was a freaking part of the freaking Italian freaking mafia. And then when push came to freaking shove, yep, you freaking guessed it.
They didn't do anything?
I don't think so. And now their freaking economy's down the freaking drain. And it's all because of freaking, yep, you freaking guessed it, Forgnini. So, geez Louise, Forgnini, if you're freaking out there, you're freaking hilarious. And I don't know if you need to freaking apologize for just wishing that a bomb would explode somewhere, but I guess you freaking did. And maybe that's your folly, and maybe that's freaking mine. So, this is our freaking last story. So we'll end on a freaking high note. This one's a freaking hilarious one. Last week, Nevada Highway Patrol officials made a public service announcement after pulling over a hearse driver using the carpool lane, according to the Huffington Post. The driver, who has not been identified, told the officer that he was under the impression that transporting a dead body qualified him use of the 2 or more people carpool lane. The officer let the driver off with a warning, but used the incident as a teachable moment by posting the PSA on social media. So, there are 2 people in the freaking car. I think that the officer's freaking wrong, and I know that some of our listeners out there, perhaps the down and out freaking Blue Lives Matter people out there might disagree with me, but geez Louise, down on my knees, cops can be freaking wrong, especially when they are freaking taking up the freaking line at the freaking donut counter, if you know what I freaking mean. Doug Jordan, does driving in a hearse with a dead body count as 2 or more people in the car?
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, it's technically a body. It's technically a freaking person, even though they're freaking dead. So I would say that, yeah, driving in the carpool lane should be totally okay for hearse drivers to do.
That's the thing. When these freaking cops get freaking uppity about things, and I know we got a great deal of listeners out there who are police enforcement, and I applaud you for listening to the freaking show and for being freaking hilarious, eating donuts, sitting behind a freaking car, getting jelly all over your freaking shield or whatever you call it, and geez Louise, down on my knees for when you step on a freaking banana peel, or the cops out there who do the freaking sound effect voices, like the African American freaking cop from Police Academy. You guys are heroes. Okay? You guys are freaking heroes. But those of you who pull people over and say and get all freaking smart about whether or not you are driving with multiple people in the freaking car and there's clearly another person, you want me to show them to you? Yeah, I'll open the freaking casket up. There's 2 people in the freaking car. Show me the law. I wish that they had freaking ticketed this person, this hearse driver, and then the hearse driver had gone to court and showed freaking photographical evidence of 2 people in the freaking car. Because if there's 2 people in the freaking car, there's 2 people in the freaking car. Show me the freaking law that says that both people need to be freaking alive.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely agreeing with you on everything you're freaking saying here today. I mean, they said the officer let the driver off with a warning, but used the incident as a teachable moment by posting the PSA on social media. They should be using this freaking moment to teach themselves that when you freaking pull over a hearse in the lane, you're freaking wrong. Because there's 2 freaking cars in the carpool lane.
Yeah. And also, maybe the hearse was trying to get the guy to the freaking hospital to maybe try and save his freaking life. Is that possible?
Maybe the guy was dying and said, I'm just going to lay down in this casket, let me die. And that guy said, no, I'll take you to the freaking hospital.
And then maybe he died anyhow. But either way, the thing is, these freaking cops, here's the freaking problem. They think they freaking know everything because they graduated from freaking high school, and because they have freaking guns on them. Now, just because they know all of those things doesn't mean they know freaking everything. And sometimes when a cop tells you, geez Louise, down on my knees, you're not allowed to freaking touch yourself on the freaking bus, or you're not allowed to take food home with you from the freaking buffet line, or you're not allowed to let all the freaking animals out of a veterinarian's office that stole your freaking Hitler mustache cat. Geez Louise, sometimes you got to freaking push back and stand up for yourself and say, you know what, you're not freaking always right about everything.
Well, I mean, they're definitely not right about the hearse thing, but I think they're right about some things sometimes.
See, my point being, you got to freaking stand up to freaking authority. Sometimes you got to freaking take one for the freaking team, like I freaking have. And you got to be a freaking punching bag for the freaking the powers that freaking be. And that's what's happening to me right freaking now. And Weakers, Tweakers, Thrill Seekers, I am not gonna sit by and let them freaking break me freaking down. So, you haven't seen the freaking laughs at freaking Taylor Lofton. Weakers, Tweakers, Thrill Seekers, this has been a great freaking episode of Our Week in Review. We love you so freaking very, 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 very freaking much, and we hope you love us just the same way, and we hope that if we do end up in prison, Doug Jordan as a guard or Doug Jordan as an inmate who snuck in through some sort of false flag charge, and me who gets arrested for something I never freaking did, that you will continue to listen to the radio show while we rot in freaking jail. Weakers, Tweakers, Thrill Seekers, thank you for listening to the freaking show. This is Our Week in Review on WAOIO LP freaking Rochester. Also SoundCloud, iTunes, podcast, all across freaking America. Basically anywhere you get your freaking bullshit. You can also listen on freaking YouTube, and sometimes we even put a freaking clip up or two. So, geez Louise, down on my knees, we love you so freaking much, and we'll see you freaking next week.
That was a good show.
Yeah, we had a pretty good freaking show.
You think on my show, they have us push the writing reviews and subscribing. You think we should start pushing that on the show and say, please like the thing on whatever you're listening to and hit subscribe and then write a review.
What the heck are you freaking talking about?
It's like a thing you can do like on the Apple or the Spotify. I don't know about the Spotify, but on the Apple one, you can like write a review or a reply, and people will say, hey Doug, thanks for help with the shed. Keep up the good work.
Is it like a thumbs up, 2 thumbs up program, or what do you do?
Yeah, I think it's a star. I think there's like 5 there. Yeah, it's 5-star rating. You rate it.
All right. Well, so we should tell Weakers and Tweakers if they're freaking still listening, even though we freaking ended the freaking show. What we do is we tell them to freaking we give 5 or between 5 and 10 stars and 2 freaking thumbs up and write a freaking review. And geez Louise, down on my knees. Yep, you freaking guessed it.
Yeah, I think that's what we just say. If you like the show, please like and subscribe.
Yeah. Doug Jordan, after all the freaking talking that we've been doing about freaking Burger King and freaking Taco Bell, can we get a freaking 10-inch freaking tortilla?
Yeah, I think they have them again, so we can go to freaking Taco Bell.
All right.